Taline's Fine Jewelry has been sparkling Howell for 5 years, and they're celebrating their anniversary this month. So let's head inside to see how they continue to shine. We've made it inside, and I think we found the true gems of this place. I'm talking with, of course, the owner, Taline. Congratulations on 5 years. How excited are you?
Oh my God, we're so excited. I never even thought that, we were going to make it through, but we're here.
I want to kind of ask, what got you into the jewelry industry?
We immigrated to the United States. My parents were very old-fashioned. I'm Armenian. It was one summer, my cousin who owned a jewelry store, I was 16, he asked my dad, why is she sitting home? She should be working. And my dad's like, no, she needs to stay home. And he's like, well, you know what, I have a store. And so he said, why don't you just let her come? We'll keep an eye on her. We'll keep her in the back. She can at least learn how jewelry is made. I mean, that's pretty much, I didn't really know anything about jewelry. So my dad finally agreed. And so he took me in the back and introduced me to the manufacturing part of the jewelry, and then moved me up to dealing with salesmen. And then eventually, after a couple of years, moved me out into the front showcase, which I fell in love with because I loved being around people, talking to people. From then on, I knew that's probably what I wanted to do.
And here we are, and that's so important that you were able to learn a little bit of everything, a little bit about the industry, because it's more than just, oh, here's a ring, here's a, no, there's a lot of aspects a part of it. So I'm glad that you're able to learn that and find that love and be hooked. And then now you own a place of your own. What made you want to make that first step and be like, you know what, this was a dream of mine and I'm going to do it?
Eventually my husband and my brother opened a manufacturing company, which I worked in as I worked for other retail stores. And so I knew all the ins and outs of the manufacturing part. But starting the business after my divorce was a little bit hard, because financially you need to be ready to open a jewelry store, and I never thought that that was ever going to happen. Being a single mom, raising kids, that was my priority. During the pandemic, I was laid off, and then I was told by my ex-employer that he wouldn't afford to bring me back. During the time, I had just become a born-again Christian. And so my faith was, okay, Lord, what do I do? What, how do I survive during this pandemic? And I had a non-compete signed, and so I couldn't work even if I wanted to. And so I prayed, and I got on the computer, and I looked to see what was available, and this store pops up. So I called, landlords were here, and they said, oh no, it's still available. So I drove out and I saw the building. I was like, wow, there's no way this is still available. So I walk in and the landlords were here, and I looked at the place and it was gutted. There was nothing here. So my first impression was, oh my God, there's no way. I mean, there's nothing here. And so they said, well, they had to take it apart. It was old and they had to renovate. What did you want to do? So I told them my story. And they come back, they hand me a business card, and they say, call that number, we're going to try to help you get a jewelry store.
Oh my goodness.
So I called the number, it was Chambers, and they introduced me to Small Business Development Center. And so they gave me a mentor, and she walked me through the whole process. But the bank manager called me a couple of days later and said, we're going to go ahead and give you the loan. When would you like to open your business? And so the problem was I still was being held to my non-compete, and the owner had never gotten back with me to let me know. I begged him to release me because I had to work, and unfortunately there was no communication there. But you know what? I trusted the Lord and jumped with both feet, and the store opened.
Tell us a little bit about what you're able to offer here, the services that you've worked so hard to bring here to Howell.
Well, number one is we do a lot of custom pieces. So we have a lot of young women that walk in, they've seen designs on whether it's Etsy or anything online that other stores offer, and they say, well, this is what I'm looking for, but I don't want to buy online. We want to support community. And so we'll go ahead and we'll make a ring very, very similar with probably better diamonds. Do repairs, we do watch repairs. I do not have a jeweler on site, but I do have a third-generation jeweler that does a lot of repairs for high-end jewelry stores, so we were very lucky to have him on board. We offer high-end jewelry. Our price range is anywhere from $25 to $100,000. So we want to cater to everyone.
This would make an amazing gift, and for anyone, you're someone special, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you're truly an inspiration for not just this community, but the whole 517.
Yeah.